Yo, what's going on, you guys? This is your boy TeladiaPlays, and welcome back to another DC Games video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Wonder Woman game getting cancelled alongside Monolith Productions also getting shut down. So without further ado, let's get diving into this topic because this one's a big one, guys. Now, this is coming from Jason Schreier from Bloomberg. Yes, you know him, guys, as well. I've talked about him in the past. He's a very reputable source. He worked for Bloomberg. He said on the 25th of February, which was yesterday or the day before, he said, breaking, Warner Brothers Games is shutting down Monolith Productions, Player First Games, and WB San Diego. Source tell Bloomberg News. Warner Brothers is also cancelling the Wonder Woman game. Yes, this is coming from Jason Schreier on Blue Sky, which you guys can see an image of what he is saying on the screen right now. Honestly, guys, this is really sad news. Because Warner Brothers straight up could have had a Wonder Woman game out literally in the next couple of years, or next few years. We could have had at least one AAA game released. But I can understand why it was shut down, because it was down to the former head of WB Games, which was David Haddad. He was sitting on his bum. He didn't want to move. He didn't want to take risks, so to say. And, you know, in a recent interview that Jason Schreier did with Kind of Funny Games, you know, on their Gamescast, which I'll leave a link to in the description, by the way, to the Gamescast itself, which you guys got to see and listen to, because it's very much interesting of where WB Games were going. So he goes over the fact that the Wonder Woman game was pretty much doomed about a month or two ago. Like, there was pretty much a likely chance of this. Now, I know Jared was saying about this as well. It was like, oh, the game gonna get cancelled, and he said that we're never gonna get to see that, which he was right. Now, I know a lot of people are complaining, but this is not on David Zaslav's fault or James Gunn's fault. This is David Haddad's fault. Straight up front, David Haddad's fault, and straight up Monolith actually firstly having problems with the studio. So Monolith Productions having problems with Warner Brothers Games in Burbank, California. You know, they were having problems there, and the fact that they were firstly, Monolith was going to make a different IP. It wasn't even going to be a Wonder Woman game. It was completely different. It was going to be a different IP. It was going to have the Nemesis system. WB said to them, no, you have to make something within DC, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Mortal Kombat, whatever, right? Whatever the WB owned, you have to make something with that. So they picked Wonder Woman. So obviously this was in April of 2021. They chose Wonder Woman and then announced it in late 2021, which was the Game Awards. They announced it. So now Warner Brothers sort of said, okay, you make it. So they started making it, and within about 2 years of their development cycle, they rebooted the game. So I believe at the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, they rebooted the game. And straight up after that, like, there was very uncertainty with what Monolith was going to do going forward, because like nobody knows was there any concept art, was there assets, is there anything that could have been saved for the game. But honestly, Monolith was doomed because they haven't really pushed out anything since 2017, and that's a big gap between releasing a game and then announcing it and then not getting another game out. That's a big thing. Now, I know some of you guys are like wondering, what has Warner Brothers said? Now, I'm going to put up on screen for you guys to see as well what they said. And this is what they said basically on screen. We had to make some very difficult decisions to structure our development studios and investments around building the best game possible with our key franchises, Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones. After careful consideration, we are closing 3 of our development studios: Monolith Productions, Player First Games, Warner Brothers Games San Diego. This is strategic change in the direction and will not and not a reflection of those teams or talents that consist within them. Development of Monolith's Wonder Woman video game will not move forward. We hope to give players and fans the highest quality experience for the iconic character, and unfortunately this is no longer possible within our strategic priorities. This is another tough decision. We recognize Monolith's storied history of delivering epic fans experience through amazing games. We greatly admire the passion of the 3 teams and thank every employee for their contributions. As difficult as today is, we remain focused on exciting and getting back to producing high quality games for our passionate fans and developer world-class studios, and getting our games back business back to profitability and growth in 2025 and beyond. That is coming from Warner Brothers Games statement. Now this was on, I believe, on the Bloomberg article, or I saw this somewhere, I can't remember where, but this is very, very sad. You know, Warner Brothers had to come out and make this statement. And here's the kicker, guys. Monolith, they weren't given a warning. They had figuratively was told over social media. So I heard over the grapevine, apparently one person who was working at Monolith Production was going to have a baby, and now she's unemployed basically because of this, which sucks. But honestly, guys, this is not on the development side. I think this is straight up David Haddad really thinking that he knows everything about gaming when he doesn't. And now we've got JP Perret, who is going to oversee gaming, and he's had conversations with James Gunn and Peter Safran for about DC and stuff, which I will make a video about in another video, because there will be another video coming soon, or this week actually. They'll be talking about DCU games. But in regards to the Wonder Woman game, this is just sucks and infuriating, because we could have had the Wonder Woman game out, and not only because of the fact that DC needs a win now, it's basically because what are we waiting for? Another Batman game? Are we gonna wait for another Batman game? Like, that is gonna be like 4 years down the line, 5 years, at the very least 5 years down the line, that we're gonna wait for that? I'm sorry, no, you can't do that. Like, I'm sorry to say that Warner Brothers doesn't know what they're doing, right? When it comes down to the previous regime, they had no idea what they're doing. Player First Game, they just acquired them as well. So that's another thing. They acquired a studio like 6 months ago, and now they're shutting them down because of the failure of that for multiverses. But this is just a big kick to the face of the fans. And I feel bad for the developers. Like I said before, I don't put the full blame on Monolith. I put the blame on David Haddad. Full blame goes to him, because he thought he knows everything about the gaming division. He doesn't. Clearly he didn't. And right now, after watching that interview with Jason Schreier on the Kind of Funny podcast, Gamescast, I should say, it just shows that Warner Brothers did not, and I repeat, did not know what they were doing. Canceling games left, right, and center. They didn't have a strategic plan going forward. And the fact that you pressured developers to pushing them to make a game and then canceling it 3 or 4 years later. No, that's not good enough. I'm sorry, but in my opinion, honest opinion, they shouldn't have done that. They should. I really think, right? My personal opinion, you should have given at least the Wonder Woman game a chance. You know, there could have been still an opportunity for them to get this game out, even if it was rebooted, structure it into the DCU. It would have been a good opportunity for it to be a part of James Gunn's universe. But now that's not going to be a possibility, because it's no longer is in development, and it's shelved. We don't know if we'll ever get like concept art, assets, footage. We don't know. We probably will get that stuff 5 years time. But it's sad to see stuff like this happen, and I know a lot of Wonder Woman fans are upset. They're blaming David Zaslav. They're blaming James Gunn. They're not the people to blame. Firstly, David Zaslav came in after David Haddad was already the head of gaming. Secondly, James Gunn came in 2023, 2022, 2023. So this was after the Wonder Woman game was already in production. So this is not on James Gunn. So I know some of you guys are probably going to say James Gunn is at fault here. James Gunn is this, James Gunn is that. It's not on James Gunn's fault at all. At all. So the person who's responsible is David Haddad, and the full sole responsibility falls on his shoulders because he failed these teams. He failed these teams and he failed the fans. Me personally, he failed the fans as well. He failed the fans because we could have had a one AAA game. We could have had this game out in a couple of years' time. Fans would be forgiving. Fans would say, okay, at least we got a AAA DC game to be looking forward to. It's not Batman related. It's a Wonder Woman character. It's Wonder Woman. It's this part of the Trinity, right? At least fans could say, oh yeah, okay, we're getting a Wonder Woman game. Great. But the fact is that like Jason Schreier said, is Monolith was going through so much problems, production-wise, going from one IP to another IP, rebooting a game. They had the Nemesis system. They didn't use the Nemesis system. Now WB is also pining on the Nemesis system as well to 2035. And I'm like thinking, what they're going to do going forward is like, who's going to be able to use these IPs? Who knows? Who knows who's going to use it? Is it going to be WB themselves? Is Rocksteady going to take a crack at it? And we know that WB Games Montreal is going to be working on a Game of Thrones game. That is according to Jason Schreier. That they're not working on a DC IP. So this is all this stuff over the last month or two has been sad after sad after sad news. Once, like yesterday, or the day before, we had some great news about DC games going forward the day after the Wonder Woman game cancellation. Like I'm just like, what? Like, seriously, Warner Brothers, can't you get anything right? So that's what I've got to say, honestly. This is like a mini rant video, but also at the same time, I want to give you guys context of what's going on at WB Games and give you guys something to kind of say, okay, so this is the situation at Warner Brothers and why it was cancelled and whatnot. So I wanted to give you guys context, and also if you guys haven't checked out the Jason Schreier interview on Gamescast, I will leave a link in the description. Guys, make sure you do check that out because it's very much intriguing to see what Jason Schreier had to say about WB Games Studios, including Monolith, WB Games Montreal, Rocksteady, Player First Games, and so many more. He went diving into this stuff in depth, and I gotta say, if you guys want to know all the nitty-gritty details about why was it so badly done, the video's there, right there for you. You can check it out. So credit goes to Jason Schreier actually figuring this, going in depth. But also I gotta mention before we wrap up, Gail Simone was a consultant on this game. She did put out a tweet, Gail Simone. She did say in this tweet that she was a consultant in the game and that it was going to be great and there was passionate and it was really looking gorgeous. She literally said that in a tweet. So I will leave those, I'll put the images on screen of what Gail Simone had to say on screen so you guys get to see this type of thing. But honestly, it's just sad. It's really, really sad that you had a great writer obviously come on board to be a consultant for the game, and then all of a sudden WB is like, no, we want to cancel it. We don't think we're going to get investment back. And here's the good thing. Well, here's not the good thing. It was not going to be a loop. It was not going to be a live service game. This game was never going to be a live service game. Jason Schreier confirmed that it was never going to be a live service game. This game was going to be a single player experience. WB have just lost a lot of money on this game. I think they lost about 100 million or something. They were saying that they lost 200 million on Suicide Squad. They lost 100 million on the Quidditch game and Multiverses. I don't know how much they lost on Wonder Woman, but I reckon there's a lot of money they lost on that too. So, given the fact that the studio is now shut down, who knows where these employees will go next, and who knows where the DC brand will, what the DC brand is going to look like in 5 years' time. Are we going to get a Batman game that is going to live up to the expectations, back to the roots of the Arkham City days or the Arkham Asylum days, where it's Game of the Year? Are we going to get that type of level of expectations, or are we just going to get another Suicide Squad situation where it just flops at the first hurdle? So only time will tell when it comes down to Rocksteady and DC as a whole. But I will be talking about the DCU because I think there's something there which I will talk about in the next video. So that's pretty much what I gotta say about the Wonder Woman game cancellation, because it's a big deal. So I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. What do you guys think about the Wonder Woman game getting cancelled, the studio getting shut down? What do you think? What do you make about the fact of what WB had to put out there as a statement about the Wonder Woman game? And also, what do you think about Jason Schreier's interview or Jason Schreier's comments on Kind of Funny Gamescast? If you've watched it, let me know what you guys thought about it, because I would like to hear your thoughts and opinions on that too. So that being said, I've been your boy TeladiaPlays. If you want to follow me on social media, there's a link tree in the description. So hit that link tree and it'll take you to my social media accounts. You can follow me there and all that stuff. If you want to become a member, hit that join button, guys. You get exclusive perks, including early access to videos like this one, and you'll be able to partake in members only panel streams where I do once a month, where we talk about everything from movies, TV shows, and video games. And also on top of that, we do talk about DC and Marvel, particularly for this stuff. So stay tuned for that. But the next video, guys, like I said before, will be about the DCU. So stay tuned. So until then, have a wonderful morning, wonderful afternoon, wonderful evening, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe out there. Have a wonderful day. Like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And until next time, see you guys later. Peace out, everyone.